It is not the strongest of the machines.
Nataka nione hiyo logo kwanza.
Not to shy away from technology, feigning ignorance, but to embrace the age of the machines and learn how to live and create.
Human beings and machines are increasingly interacting. Human beings and machines are increasingly interacting, thereby
Systems bringing humans and machines even closer together, once again changing our relationship to technology. Technology is a system of human situations that are demanding.
as follows. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It is the one most adaptable to change. This is a rallying call for humans not to shy away from technology, feigning ignorance, but to embrace the age of the machine and learn how to live and coexist with it. Computers and computerized equipment like robots have been programmed to learn, sometimes like humans. We call this artificial intelligence or AI, machine learning and robotics. These are technically different but interrelated things. Machines and digital devices have long become a regular feature of our everyday private and working lives. Self-learning systems are bringing humans and machines even closer together, once again changing our relationship to technology. Technology is assisting in carrying out jobs in situations that are demanding, dangerous, dirty or monotonous, or in which large amounts of data need to be analyzed. With this knowledge, it is paramount that we acknowledge the advantages of AI technologies and hone our skills on employing them towards securing future economic health and strength. Especially now, as the world grapples with a global pandemic whose end no one can predict, the use of machines and robots in the medical field and beyond has never been this necessary. With a highly contagious virus having killed millions of people already and infecting millions more every new day, the use of robots in managing COVID-19 patients is a welcome intrusion. Machines go even further in enabling disease diagnosis and prescribing medicine. At places of work, machines have taken over monotonous jobs that previously required hundreds of workers at a time to achieve. Humans can get distracted and tired, leading to mistakes that could cause either physical injury or financial injury to the company. Delegating more straightforward, mundane tasks to robotic assets can ensure safety and free people up to handle more pressing, complex works. There is no going back. You either get to the program or ship out. Yet, machines alone are not self-sufficient. Their use requires a whole generation of humans to create and program them. A generation of people equipped with the necessary skill to operate artificial intelligence systems for the betterment of humanity. That is the next big thing. Furthermore, researchers have been keen to make a case for the role of combining multiple ideas in new ways to create something interesting and perhaps useful: the creative mind. These experts also see the need for a respectful mind that values diversity in people and their different cultures. Even more discourse is ongoing on the position of the ethical mind in all this. All these skills will remain necessary for a globally connected world.
Okay, so when production gives me the go-ahead, I'm just going to welcome any of you who would like to interact with our chief guest by making a comment from what he said, or from Kirby, or from me, or to ask a question about IREN, or about Kirby, or about Galagala. We give you a chance. We're going to have a seat here. You just take a seat, sanitize first. I think this is sanitization session, and then you come, we share the mic. Is that okay? So I just need to get the signal from production that we are good. And what do you recommend? We all have masks on? Okay? Masks? Everybody, or when somebody is talking, they remove the mask? When somebody is talking, they can pull it down. Okay, good. So, give me the signal when you're ready, so that we get started. Okay. So let me try to move the omega out of the mask. Just this way. Let me try to turn out the omega guys, please. Like that. Because it's hard, I don't know how they do it. I'm used to this one. And I'm told in KK you can do like that. I'm sanitizing myself. The wall is not set. Okay, are we ready to go? Yeah, good. Sorry, are we ready to go? Okay, we try, when you come here, try to shout because we have so many sounds competing. And as I said, and our timekeeper purity, we're just going to use 15 minutes and then we close the session, only 15 minutes, okay? So, when you're ready to go, I'm just going to thank our representatives around and then invite any of you willing to come, you take the seat. And it comes outside. We are good to go. Thank you so much and welcome back to this IREN live stream. We've been having our ITIP 2020 here in Kakamega County, lovely place where the grindstone is based, and we've got very innovative young people here who've been trying to pitch solutions from yesterday. And now we are coming to the end of our session, and with us here today we have the representative from Sigalagala National Polytechnic and also from Kirby, which specializes in assisting in technology and prototype production. So what I'd like to do, as we conclude in the next 15 minutes, is to invite any of the innovators who has a question, either Sigalagala Polytechnic or Kirby or IREN or any topic that matters to come and speak and make his point or her point. Please, you come, you sanitize first, and then you join us here. So as we have one person sanitizing, we all know that now we are in the era of digitalization. So in the room, we are a few people, but in the streaming, we are trying to reach out to as many participants as possible. And we are going to be putting the links of all the innovations and the names of the innovators and the contacts of the innovators so that you can interact with them freely. So thank you. I see we've got a guest already. So please, go ahead.
My name is Brian, and my question goes to the from Kirby. I just want to inquire about the payment. Maybe you have a project, want to innovate, want to come up with a project which you are starting. I want to know the amount you're supposed to pay for the things when you're starting it.
Question about look at custom. to us, the customer. Look at customers in the professional way in of a customer is only one customer. To us, for a customer, the categories is follow. In case you are Inoovation, most likely you just left, graduated the other day from college. You are aware that you will not have the means to even sustain yourself. Okay? Important thing is the idea that you have. First, we want to listen to the idea that you have. Okay? There are mechanisms that are already available in government structures. Because as an institution, there are many other institutions. We are a chain of institutions. Okay? So here is the focus product development, research, industrial research, product development, physical product development. Before we can get to the point of how much you need to pay, there's a lot that needs to be discussed concerning what you have. So you should not worry about payments.
My name is James, and my innovation is about solar generator. And my question goes to my guest from Philippines. So, after my innovation, and I've seen your made for me my prototype, how sure can you convince me that my innovation will be safe? Because you already made it, and you gave me the prototype. So how will I know that my innovation, there's nobody outside who's already using it?
Microphone. Use the microphone.
Okay, my question goes to our guest from Kirgis. So I want him to explain to me how my product will be safe. Maybe I have no money to go all those processes to make sure there's nobody outside already using it. So after he has made for me my prototype and he brought it here, so how will he convince me that my property, my innovation will be safe, nobody will be using it? Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the question, innovator. QD is actually a powerhouse when it comes to solar integration. Actually, the gentleman who I was working with on our project is actually one of the leading researchers in the area of solar generators. Together. So I would like to also remind you of something that I've mentioned, that as GILD, our work is to assist you in the technology development aspect. Government has a number of institutions, okay? Like on the issue of patenting, there's an institution by the name KIP, if I'm not wrong. Together, they will be able to tell you whether what you have is patented. Something has to qualify to be patented. Together. If you have a generator, there are types of patents that you can get. There's what is called a utility patent. Because the generator technology has been around for quite some time. And there's that unique feature as an innovator that is incorporated into the design of a solar generator. Together. So you can get a utility patent for that. Okay?
I'd like just to point out also, that's a very important question. You notice I was careful when I say security has assisted in the prototype. But remember I talked about the blueprint. I'm addressing the gentleman who was concerned about his property rights. I can see he's looking for water now. Okay, you can hear me. is that you have an idea. You're trying to create a concept that can enable somebody to see that it makes sense. Now, product development, what Kirby does after they have listened to the submission you normally give to IREN, they try to figure out what is it you're trying to come up with. So a lot of what we have here, are prototypes. There are no blueprints. There's no specifications that follow a particular scientific channel that you can now say, now this is something I need to protect. So it's still part of the idea stage. Now, there's a series of protection approaches that now does not really fall into the security space. There's an organization called ITIP. But the good news is that at IREN we have also an IP and patent lawyer who can guide you, to help you, to assist you determine whether what you have can be patentable. You patent something that is unique to you. If you have something that everybody has, you cannot patent it. For example, the word yes. I cannot copyright the word yes. But if I say yes or something like that, modify it, I can say, what? I copyright the yeses to myself. And you heard about the shoe modification. If you modify the shoes are shoes. But you can see some have laces, some don't have laces, some have high heels, some do not high. So once you modify that, so that it's unique to you, then it needs to be protected. But this is a conversation in product development. So what Kirby has done, this is just the first step. Next step now is to start going into the details. What's unique with your solar dehydrator? Because others exist, right? So this is something we can continue the conversation. We have also our patent lawyer. We can do this maybe the coming season. We do a forum to all of you. We did it early this year before COVID. We had this forum before. And this is a very healthy conversation that all of us have to look at, because sometimes we think we have an innovation, but we are still in the dream stage. That's why we have to work together slowly by slowly until you arrive at that element where you can draw the fine lines that then you can protect. But here we have a guest who has just arrived to ask a question.
Thank you very much. Question to the are you trying to reach students or universities and colleges, or do you have an initiative to reach the low Thank you.
Maybe I can answer the IREN side, and then we can have, I don't know how we're doing with time, the purity you keep guiding us, so we see the seat is still empty. For IREN, we have several levels of the innovation platforms. We have a program we are already working with in Kenyan universities. Some of you who are university students must be familiar with a program called Enactus Kenya. Enactus Kenya is part of our platform where we drive this innovative thinking across the undergraduate students. But now the ITIP platform has two aspects where we are trying to collaborate with the TVET institutions, because we know with TVET they are hands-on, and therefore we are trying to see how TVET can assist some of the ideas that come from the innovators to be fast-tracked, to be taken or to be used by the target audience, in this case for agribusiness being the farmers. So for TVET, we actually work with the institutions to reach the TVET students. But we do have what I would say the high school level innovators. Mostly we call it the idea stage ideation. This is what we do, and mostly most of them is what we call our annual trade fair. So I hope that answers the question. But I'd like our colleague from Scalagala to make a comment before then we get the question from our
thank you for that question. At Scalagala National Polytechnic, just like any other public training institution, one of the requirements to the syllabus is to have students who are able to come up with projects that are workable. And to this end, many of our students nowadays have to undergo through
an evaluation exercise and defend their projects and ideas. And the process, in fact, in some departments, we expect students to actually model and come up with a real project that can solve a real problem. And I think for many of our training stations, that's the direction that the curriculum now requires. And I think for that questioner, he may be aware that most of the institutions have moved towards that direction. And just to add on that, even during this exercise where students have ideas or projects that they can defend, some colleges are actually getting external assessors. So with the introduction of external assessors, this is very much just ensuring that the quality of whatever projects the students are coming up with are able to meet the required quality threshold. Beyond that, I think we are aware that training stations traditionally have had such debate competitions, and that these have sought to ensure that students can express whatever they have. And just as I did in my presentation, the actual part of actualization is what has been lacking, and I think this is an eye-opener for us as a training institution and any other learning institution, that we can now see how we can assist our students beyond their time at the college level. Thank you so much.
My name is Eric. First of all, let me thank presenter Rufus for the powerful presentation that has given. I think that's been an eye-opener to most of us. Secondly, I want to thank IREN for the opportunity that they have given us. I think if it was not for IREN, especially for people who graduated a long time ago from college, like me, I would not have had the opportunity to come up with my idea, to conceptualize and think that's a prototype of what we developed. And thank you to IREN, and I'm asking and calling upon all the government, whether government, whether private institutions, to help such organizations that have that are willing to help many youth who have good ideas but they don't know how to bring it on the board. Now, I don't know if it's a question or just a moment that I want to what is it that the civil institutions are doing to ensure that we have not research and development? Because when I was in college, when I heard of research and development, I knew that it was the PhD or the master's guide. Now we need to have innovation hubs so that anybody with an idea can bring it to board and ensure that we have, because right now I'm sure 90% of graduates are jobless. And the truth of the matter is they are not going to be jobs. And I'm sure that there are not going to be jobs in the coming years. The only way to go is to have these innovations and to have creative ideas that can create jobs. Most of these guys are college graduates. They're still in college. But if you are thinking of going to college, then tomorrow come out and seek for jobs, there are no jobs. So ensure that the innovations that you are developing is not just for today, it's long term. So my question was, what are the TVETs or other college institutions doing? Because I've heard you are a chairman of some research and whatever. So what are you doing as an institution to ensure that we have innovation hubs? And what is it again that you are going to ensure that you have enough financial muscle? Because these innovations need money. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. The question, I think it's important for us to courageously conclude that research is not meant for PhD holders, and it is not the honors of masters or PhD holders to claim that those are the only guys who can be engaged in serious research. The fact that today we are here is a clear indication and testimony that there are bright ideas that TVET institutions and young people for that matter can come up with that can solve the problems of the world. Now, we know, for example, that at Gelagala National Polytechnic, we have linked up with the Kenya Industrial Property Institute, KIPI, to come up with a Technology Innovation Support Center. Now, this support center is aimed at encouraging innovators and telling them that the ideas you have can be protected, that they can be patented, and that your work is just to come up with as many ideas as you can, so that in the process of doing this, probably you landed in the hands of Kirby or any other person, that your ideas, can have some light at the end of the day. Now, how are institutions doing that? Of course, we know that basically at the institution level, just as I said earlier, that our training curriculum nowadays is now moving towards what we are calling competency-based training. The expectation of this training is such that we expect our learners to have a hands-on solution to whatever they are coming up with. So there is a serious program that is now underway, that our trainers are undergoing some additional training so that they can adapt to the changing world. I've just looked at the clip that IREN has played, that unless you adapt to change, then you will not survive. I think that is the basic idea that I got. Unless we are able to adjust. And so for us at TVET Institute, we know that there are changes that are taking place, that teaching methodologies are changing, that ideas are no longer, as we have said earlier, ideas are no longer a preserve of PhD holders, that a craft student or an artisan student can come up with an idea that can solve the world. And that is how we are now appreciating the ideas in our competitions, in our weekly innovations. I've just said that institutions have weekly innovations. In every academic year, sometimes we have a week where we dedicate it to Innovation Week. We have got regional competitions that are aimed at just stirring up the gift of our young people so that whatever they have can be actualized. And I believe this is just one of the ways in which we can encourage our young people to actualize whatever they have. Of course, funding has been a major challenge. It is all over the world. It's not only unique in Kenya. Funding is a big challenge. And I said earlier that research departments that have been established are aimed at strengthening our research activities. I believe that is part of the ways in which TVET institutions have structured themselves so that they can assist our young people to become more and more productive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are coming to a close now. I think this will be the last person to occupy the seat. So you can make a very brief comment or question, and then we come to a close.
Thank you so much. My name is Patrick Maninga from Busa County, and I want to appreciate what IREN, KLB, and TVET, Galagala are doing in the field of innovation. So just a question that I would like to pose that what is the aftermath of all these innovations from you? Now that we've had an expo, or rather exhibition today, and we have students who are here, we also have Expo and ITIP. So what is the future of all these innovations from here? And probably, I like this question to be answered by the people, so that what Galagala is going to do from here with these innovations, what IREN is going to do with these innovations, to do the development of the scientific part, and what IREN is going to do with these innovations.
Wow, that is a perfect way of ending this. What are we supposed to do after here? So, in my presentation, I think I did ask, who are our customers? And what is the TVET ecosystem? And so, what problems are we solving? And so, how are we going to solve them? I think that is a serious question that I think all of us should ponder about. That we have taken all our time to come up with these ideas we have. Not just from Sigalagala National Polytechnic. Wherever you are and wherever you're coming from, that is, at the end of the day, what next? So, on my part, as management at Sigalagala National Polytechnic, definitely I wouldn't imagine that all these ideas would die. Because yes, there was a contest of some sort. But I've said that we need to take time to improve, to go beyond the blueprint, and have the confidence that the ideas that we have been well preserved and protected. That's why I was talking about shared vision. That beyond this, I do expect that as Sigalagala National Polytechnic and any other organization that is here, we will develop stronger ties and partnership towards innovation and partnership. That we will develop, serious linkages amongst ourselves in terms of networking. So that for the gentleman who has just asked that he has been in college and now he has had to do a prototype. I would imagine that if one of my projects has not reached that level, then I would want to have such a link and network with such a person so that I will be able to reach wherever he is and then go beyond. I would definitely expect a lot of interaction with Kirby and further engagement with IREN, because some of these students, I'm sure, in the next 2 years will not be here. I do expect that this kind of engagement will go beyond. And the next time when we are having such a regional, engagement, probably we are 100 and 120 or 500 of us, different innovations from different fields, assisting the entire world, with our ideas. This is where I'm expecting. So I expect more of teamwork, I expect more of engagement, and much more so that out of this, many of us shall employ many other people because we have engaged ourselves in productive and economic engagement arising from our innovations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's a wonderful question because you're asking yourself what next. So, as an innovator, there is what is fueling you. Put together. There is what is inside you fueling you. That is called passion. Isn't it? You really want to see whatever you've been working on, end up being successful. You wanted it to create value in the community. You want to see it create that value, right? Because in the process, you end up adding something. Isn't it? So there's that fuel in you. There's that passion in you. So you look at the whole issue of innovations. There's the issue of if whatever I've been working on, the approach that I've been using is not working. Okay? You're allowed to change it to suit the market. because you are learning in the process. Are we together? And something which also you should be aware of is that what you are engaged in, what we are engaged in collectively as innovations, is what you call a product life cycle. Just as human beings, you have a life cycle, right? So the product you are working, the product you've been working on together, has a life cycle. The industry, this product falls under, has a life cycle. So what we've been tackling in the last 2 or 3 years is product development. We still need to confront the market. We need to take a sample of what you've been working on, take it out there to the market, and feel what are the perceptions from your to-be customers, and from your potential customers. Are we together? After you've got a feel of what the customers have concerning your product, then you can go back and maybe tweak it a bit to suit that need. Okay? Then you get into what you call, I think, the growth phase. Okay? If it's a manufacturing facility, you should be thinking about where do I source for resources in terms of finances, where do I source human resource, and this doesn't need to be need only a simple setup. Okay? Other countries like India, they are doing really well. Because like every homestead, at the back here, there's always like a small cottage industry. Somebody has a juggler there, they are squeezing some sugarcane juice, they are adding some flavors to it. You don't need a lot of labor to squeeze juice out of sugarcane, isn't it? Yeah. So there are those phases that you need to tackle as an innovator. And in each and every one of those phases, there is a government institution that has been set up to assist you. Are we together? Yeah, so please welcome to our facility, and then make inquiries. We'll inform you and educate you on these issues. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'm coming last as a way of signifying our closing. So for IREN, what we have in mind in terms of next step, and agreeing with our colleague from Kirby, what we have, you need to take it out, test it out in the market. Because remember, even in your pitching practice, you didn't have data about what the market response is for your innovation. You are super happy about your innovation, but maybe the market might tell you we don't need it. So step one, you collaborate with us, we work with you, you go to the market. If you need the tools to be assisted on how you can test your product in the market, IREN is available. You work with us to test each of your innovations in the market and then produce a report from which you can develop further language for pitching. After you've done that, and we are so happy that the production team, if you noticed yesterday, they were focusing on each individual innovation. We are going actually to share with you the clips. Share with you the clips, meaning for each innovation, let's say those who did the sensor. Instead of giving you a video clip of the entire presentation of everybody, we send you specifically tailored clip for your sensor innovation, for the dehydrator innovation, and so forth, so that you can use it to, when you're reaching out to the market, you can use that production also as a way of reaching to them digitally, because you know COVID might not allow you to walk from village to village to tell them that you've got a good sensor. Just an example, using your innovation. And the second part, of course, is after you've tested the market, IREN will be super keen on which one shows potential to scale. Because remember, you can innovate something which can solve a problem in the immediate vicinity, and that's okay. We're not saying it's a problem. But when it comes to commercialization, there's the aspect of scale. Can it be scaled up? Can it go beyond Kakamega, be regional, become national, and become an East Africa product? So scale will be the next item we look at after you've done the testing in the market. Then the third one is blueprint. Remember what I said, a lot of what you have may yet come to the specific scientific element of your innovation. and that you need more expertise. And that's the stage where you start thinking about protection. The gentleman was talking about how to protect, let's say, the dehydration. What is the science behind it? If you just say air comes in, air goes out, you say now we can't protect that. Even in this room, the air is coming in and it's going out, right? But now if you develop some scientific way that makes the air flow in this room in a different way from the way it flows in other rooms, you can own that specific part. That's the blueprint element that we'll be looking at. And then, of course, finally, is you need partnership, the investments, and that's where the real pitching will come. If you call the trainer yesterday telling you about elevator pitch, that's the stage now you'll be ready because you have at least tested the market, you have the blueprints, you can prove that this thing can be scaled up, and therefore IREN will host what we've always hosted, what we call an investor forum, where you pitch to a potential investor. We've done this mostly for SMEs in the East Africa region, but for the innovation, we've always been going slow because we know we are trying to teach each other what is this thing we call innovation. It's not just coming up with a box to say you have an innovation. It's a learning curve, and I can tell you now for 3 years now, we've started reaching a stage where our participants have realized you need to have a specific element, not innovate the whole car. You cannot innovate the whole bus. There has to be a specific element in the whole bus which you can say, you know what, that circuit, it's new developed. And that circuit is what you protect. And that circuit is what bus companies will be buying, But I know we all start with a dream that they may come up with a Land Rover. But Land Rover, the seats, leather seats, the people who do leather are similar to the shoe people. They have nothing to do with the engine. But the ones who are doing the engine have nothing to do with the electricals, right? And then nowadays we've got intelligent cars as well. They have nothing to do with the apps. It means even cars also are operating the app. So you notice in just one equipment called a car, there could be 1,000 innovators, and then there's the integrator, the one who picks all these nice innovations and creates what you call the Land Rover car or the Toyota car. So it's a learning curve for all of us, and once you take those steps, you might get a scenario where there'll be an integrator saying, I need to pick from Sigalagala that circuit or sensor, I need to pick from the solar dehydrator person something, put together and create a machine. And that's really the next steps that we are looking forward to. And so my last message is to say this is a journey you just started. Now you've created at least some 3-dimension view of what you're trying to innovate, but work is yet to start. Test the market. If the market gets excited, let's get to the blueprints, okay? And then let's create a possibility for you to pitch to potential partners and investors. So thank you very much. And with that, I would like us to close the ITIP 2020 for today. And then I wish those who will be joining us for the subsequent events tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. You can join us live. I think we'll also be on YouTube. We are also looking at how the aspect of innovation can also be signed with culture. Thank you. And may God bless you all.